Hello and welcome to the 4th episode of This Week in Chairs, an esports podcast. This is a show where we talk about the latest news and events in the world of esports, but through the perspective of chairs specifically. In this show, we look at clips of the most prominent and exciting chairs that were used in esports throughout this last week, and we review them, we give them a fair and balanced coverage and discussion, and review them and talk about what were really the highlights of the chair esports world this last week.
And we got some good ones this week, don't we, Douglas?
We got great chairs this week.
I think so.
Returning to the Boston Major, there's weird beanbags and there's weird white chairs. So a lot to look forward to in this episode. As always, my name is Doug Reed, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jack Cambu.
Pleasure.
And a quick reminder, if you're a first-time listener, that the point of this show is to get a sponsorship from Maxnomic Chairs. We're hoping to get 2 free chairs for our apartment because we need 2 chairs here. So if you like what we're doing, be sure to reach out to Maxnomic and show your support for what we're doing. Ask them to get a sponsorship.
Email, facsimile.
Facsimile, yep.
Telegraph, telegram, singing telegram. Really any way possible.
So reach out to them, and without further ado, let's jump in to the first chair review of the week. Alright, so now last week we talked about the Boston Major, and that's because the Boston Major was in its group stages. That was week 1 of the event, and now this past weekend they are doing the final playoffs. It's this big single elimination bracket with the top 16 teams. Super exciting stuff. You can see here some of the gameplay. But yet again this week, they did a lot of pieces with the players, right? They did interviews and fun segments, and they seem to have moved to a different venue because they did some interviews in these chairs.
Yes.
So these are some interesting chairs. What are your first thoughts of this?
My first thoughts are I'm actually not entirely sure how these chairs are configured. Next to each other, I can't tell if they're at a right angle or if it's an obtuse angle. It almost looks like it's a right angle, but I'm not positive.
It couldn't be a right angle, right?
No.
The bodies would be far more angled. It's a lot less
if
than
it was at a right angle.
Yeah.
To each other, you think?
Well, here's the real question. Do you think that these chairs can be adjusted, or are they locked in that position?
Well,
I assume that there's a lot of
right, because I can't tell if this is a seam that keeps them connected or if they're two. I assume that they're two
separate
chairs, chair type deals.
And you could have maybe several booths lining like a big circle.
Yeah,
and just make a giant chair throne,
or just 4, so that no one could get out. Lock them all in, get real cozy.
Alright, so that leads me to my main point about these chairs, which is that the proportions for these chairs make no sense at all.
Are we finally going to get to that part of these chairs? The fact that they have these giant, hideous backs to them.
I want to point out that these are very tall, Jack. Yeah. There's a huge back, and what's interesting is it's like twice as tall as a normal chair back, right?
Yeah.
And even how deep it is, like the guys aren't even close to sitting against the back, so that's double the proportion it should be. The sides are double the proportion. Pretty much everything is twice as big as this chair should. Like if you think about it, just imagine a quarter of the size, and that would be a normal chair.
Yeah. Well, so what I'm also noticing is they're actually seated really low again. Like that.
Oh yeah.
For how tall and big this chair is,
yeah,
it's like very low to the ground.
I mean, it does make the back part look taller.
It does. That's true.
Relatively, it looks even bigger, and that's what I just want to hit out the gates. This is a fucking awesome chair. I love these chairs. They're creative.
We are going different ways on this.
And they're just so excessive. Everything is twice as big as it should be, like almost exactly. And this is also one of the few chairs we reviewed so far that was in an American venue.
True.
And it's just, this is what you get in America. This is the type of chairs. I don't want to bring politics onto this show, but we can look forward to more of this in Trump's America.
I think you might be right there.
Freedom chairs, way too big. That's how we make them here in the States.
Way too big, way too low to the floor.
America, we're too big, we're too low to the floor. Very red.
Yeah.
And I like the pillows on the back. I will say this looks horrendously uncomfortable because you can't sit far enough back to lean against the back, so it's too deep. So you can't use this in a normal way other than a stool.
And it's so weird too because with these giant sides as well, it's not like a normal sized couch that you can lie down on. You're gonna be no matter what, you have to curl up into it if you're gonna try and lie down.
It would almost be better. Maybe
they intend the side to be used as the back. the backrest.
Hear me out. What if this is intended to be like a combination chair and bed? Because if you were to take it and flip it onto its back, that's bed size now. That's the size of a bed.
You're closer.
And the pillows would sit there immediately. Like, it's basically ready to go as a bed.
So what you're saying is you just push it over when you're ready for it to be a bed, and then you're set.
Yeah, these are incredibly multi-purpose. And then, okay, so that's if you push it back, right? But if you take it where it currently is and just drop it like that, now it's a couch, like you were saying. So this is a chair that on any angle that you sit it on, it's a different type of sitting device. That's incredible. That's what's BY's proportion like that.
Worst case scenario, you flip it all the way upside down. It's a little hovel.
Yeah.
You know, it's a shelter for you when it's
then
raining
you're in a
outside.
hovel. Yeah, if you live in the weathered outdoors,
but somehow still can afford this piece of furniture.
This chair. Well, I mean, that's what I would say. You know, if you have a budget, if you're furnishing a new apartment, or you're stranded on an island, and you need one piece of chair furniture to get by, this will serve many purposes.
I mean, I can't fault that analogy. I can't fault that analysis.
I love the creativity on this chair. I love the freedom that just emanates out of it. I am giving this chair a 6 out of 7. It's got sex appeal. It's got usefulness, creativity.
Has sex appeal to you?
That has sex appeal. You could definitely attract a mate. It's like a peacock, right? Like a peacock is a small body, like look like him, right? Like he's basically like the bird, and then his tail feather
like,
plumage.
look at this plush chair behind me.
Yeah. It's just like a bird of paradise.
Yeah. Pay no heed to the slat look of it. Really focus more on this bright red, velvety.
Okay. I just imagine this. You are a hot woman, okay? You are a hot woman.
I don't think I can imagine that.
You're in the club, right? You're in the club, and there's all these guys, right? Like, you're the hottest girl there. You can get any guy you want, and you're looking around, just like, that guy, he's all right. Like, that guy's
but he's
kind of buff. And then you look at another guy. He's got a massive red chair behind him. He's going to stand out from the crowd. His chair plumage is incredible. You're going to draw right to him.
I don't know, Doug.
Sex appeal.
I've got to disagree.
It's sexy. It's creativity. I love these chairs. So 6 out of 7. What's your review?
I'm gonna go with a 3 out of 7 on this one. Though here's something that I wanted to bring up.
Yes.
This is the Boston Major. We did a piece on the Boston Major last week as well.
Yep.
Those chairs were white. They were marshmallowy. We were not fans of those chairs.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Boston Major saw our coverage and decided to change out? Because I will notice.
Yeah.
That table in the middle, it's the same table.
That's true. That's true. So this means they're clearly in the same venue.
Yeah.
Or they switched venues but brought the table with them. It's not clear, but yeah, probably.
I like to think that we have that much sway.
All right, so here's a 3, mine's a 6. Means a 9 total, so 4.5 for these chairs. That's a pretty good review, all things considered. So, great job, Boston Major. Here's my enhanced vision.
Of course.
Okay, so 4.5 for the first chair. Let's move on to the second chair of the week. So we're looking at the ECS Season 2. So that's Electronic Championship Series. I can't remember what ECS stands for, but so it's a big Counter-Strike tournament put on by Faceit and Twitch, and they're in Season 2 playoffs right now. You can see Optic Gaming and Astralis. This is in Group A of the event. So really cool big event going on right here. And let's jump into what the casters not the casters, the analysts sit on. So as the show opens, right? The show is opening. We're about to watch a bunch of Counter-Strike, and this sets the scene, which is Red Eye hosting along with 2 Counter-Strike analysts. So they've got some interesting chairs. The stream was a little bit laggy, so there's going to be some glitches, but
our apologies.
Let's check out these chairs. So what I want to call out is that the armrests, they're kind of cool and creative looking-ish, right?
I actually really like these chairs.
Really?
Yeah.
I think these are awful chairs. All right,
we are just not firing on the same cylinders today.
Let me pitch to you why these are terrible chairs. So those armrests, right? See those right there? Actually, I have an enhance. Okay. Look at the placement of the sidearms.
Yeah.
You couldn't put your arms there. These guys could not leave. They have to like fan out and go forward and down to get their arms on that. They cannot support their arms. The placement is completely wrong. It should be back against the back of the chair, right? So I think that those don't actually serve as armrests.
That's what I would tell you. Is that
look, his hand is on Red Eye's hand is on his lap, and it's in the same placement
position where a normal armrest.
So you can rest your hand there, but not your arm.
Well, that's what I'm going to tell you. I don't think that these are armrests. I think that these are safety features of the chair.
That is actually what I was going to say. Yeah. Okay, and because it looks like a straight jacket, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason... That's not an armrest, right?
No, it's to keep you locked into the chair.
Yeah. So actually... Okay, no, we're talking the same way. Like, it's because, I mean, if you look, they're like these awkward bowl shapes, right? Like, this guy's trying to sit up... The guy on the left's trying to sit up straight back, but he can't because the seat just wants you to lean back and be like...
Back. It's almost like a dental chair or like a medical chair.
Yeah.
It's like it forces you into a reclining position somewhat.
And Red Eye there, he's at like a 45-degree angle there, or 90, whatever.
No, those look comfy. I'm surprised you don't like this.
I don't. So here's what I'll say. I don't think they look comfy. There's no sex appeal. They remind me of a straitjacket, but they look extremely safe, and I feel like that was the goal. Like, okay, lawyer, you deal with cases. Jack is a practicing attorney.
That's also true.
And you deal with cases where people have fallen out of chairs. You know, they're injured because they've fallen out of chairs. Would you be concerned about safety with this? Because these seem extraordinarily safe, given that it cups you in like a bowl.
So the weird thing is, even though it cups you in like a bowl, I could actually see these being unsafe for a different reason, and I'll tell you what that is. And it's precisely because there's only one post that these are being held up on, right? This isn't like my chair, which has four legs, or your chair, which is an office chair, and it has multiple casters at the bottom. This just has a post on the bottom. So there's a case from the 60s called Garbutt v. Schechter.
Okay.
It's a California case. And basically what had happened in this case is a woman had previously had lumbar spine surgery. And she went to a department store after she had had this surgery. She was 200 pounds. She sat down in a chair there. Mm-hmm. The chair was an S-shaped chrome chair, and she had this very weird method by which she would sit at the very front of the chair and scoot back because of her lumbar spine surgery.
Okay.
Because of that, the chair tips forward, she falls down, re-injures her back, big case. I could see, now I'm looking at these again. These are very safe. I did not realize that they had these four legs at the bottom. I thought it was just a circular base, which is what I was going to go with.
Okay.
That would cause it to tip forward. But now that I'm seeing these again, disregard everything I just said. Very safe. But I'm going to tell you why I think it has sex appeal. Because you're saying straitjacket.
There's absolutely no sex appeal in this chair.
I'm thinking you're
look,
thinking
okay. I mean, Red Eye has a great look here. Like he's got the
like a padded room, right? Is that why you're thinking?
Yeah. I'm thinking mental institution.
Yeah. Well, see, I would say white leather, plush. That's and you've got like the immediate just like lounging action going on, right? And you're kind of like, hey, girl. What's up? What's going on?
So you think it presents you in like in a sexually appealing manner?
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. Just kind of lays it all out on the table.
I mean, I will admit, right now, Red Eye looks like he's courting a woman. Like, I feel like I'm being courted right now. It's a potent look.
You could not do that in those red monstrosity chairs. I can tell you that
that's
much.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll concede a bit on that. I think the color, I think the general look is awful, but the posture, it elicits a posture that is...
a certain suaveness.
Yeah, it would definitely appeal to the opposite gender. Or the same gender, whatever you're going for.
Yeah, doesn't matter. If you look good, you look good, Doug.
Alright, what's your review?
I'm going to go ahead and give these guys a 5.5 out of 7.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, no, with my new analysis of the safety of them, I'm changing it up.
I'll go with a 4. I think that they're just average. I really don't like the look. I get where you're coming from, but if I were a hot woman, I would not, feel attracted to a user of this chair. That would not be my criteria for a mate.
There's something about it also being cradled in it like that.
I want to sit. I want to sit straight up. I don't know. It seems weird. I do like the swiveling though. I do like the safety, so that's why it bumps it up to a 4 for me.
Fair enough.
So you're a 5.5, right?
5.5.
Okay, so it's 9.5. So 4.75 for this chair. So this is the highest rated reviewed chair of the week. And there it is again. You can actually see the seams there. Okay, so let's move on to the third chair of the week. So this comes from the Capcom Cup. So this is sort of the biggest Street Fighter V tournament of the year. The top 16, I believe, potentially 32 players from throughout the whole year compete in this one giant tournament put on by Capcom. So it's this massive prize pool. The first place guy walked away with $230,000. So like just huge event. You can see here this comes from the finals. And it was held in the Anaheim Convention Center. So a big convention center, where they do BlizzCon, and they had a huge auditorium of people who were all watching this. And in the front couple rows, they had people sitting on these beanbag chairs.
You know, the beanbag will always be a stigmatized chair for the gaming community. I don't think that that's ever going to disappear, unfortunately.
Yeah, that reputation is it's hard to get rid of.
It is. It's kind of a bummer. And it doesn't help that we have large events like this propagating that idea by supplying us with so many beanbag chairs.
Yeah. So what do you think of these as a chair?
I can't even tell the branding on them. They're literally sacks of beans that you sit on. They provide no support.
Well, the beans can wrap up. And actually, I think it's interesting. I don't think they're actually full-on beanbags.
Yeah,
I think that they're chairs infused with... Here, I'll pause it. They're chairs infused with beans, it looks like.
Yeah, or, you can see that they have a kind of backrest to all of them.
Yeah.
Like, some kind of rigidity in there. And it may just be, like, half beanbag, half inflated. But, like, look at this man on the left with his backpack, just, like, gazing straight up.
Yeah, his whole position. I mean, there couldn't be a backrest, right? Because there's nothing holding him up there.
Yeah.
And in fact, half the people are just really intensely lounged. I will say, like, that seems like a benefit and a curse for this in the context of esports, right? Like, as a general chair, you can argue that's good or bad. But this is an esports show, and these chairs are esports chairs, right? These were used at this event, and it seems like it's too comfortable.
No.
That guy's straight up asleep. That guy's asleep.
They're all sleeping.
Half
This is
the people,
finals.
half the people are sleeping. The other half, like, just seem like they're in awkward positions, or like that guy's like sucked into the bag. I don't know. I mean, keep going, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely
there's some kind of something going on in the back there.
So this is really interesting, like a combination beanbag chair. I think it's pretty cool. Certainly, I give it points for wait, that one's just a beanbag though.
Yeah.
Look.
Well, I wonder if he's using his wrong. That's a possibility. Some people just don't know how to use a beanbag chair.
And that's gonna lose you points.
Yeah, that's gonna.
If people come in, they can't even figure out how to use a chair. Like a chair, I feel like in general, chairs are should be really understandable. You know how to use it.
It's
like you sit on it.
Ultimately, what it comes down to is there's a seat, right? There's a seat.
There's one component. There's one step to using a chair.
You can't say that there are four legs because that's not always the case. You can't say that there's always a back because that's not always the case. But you do have a seat. And it does not look like that guy is using a seat of this beanbag chair.
So let's just overview of this event. This man was not seated.
No.
Means your chair is fucked up. Yeah.
Ugh.
They're all asleep.
Yeah,
they're all asleep. Everybody's
not even trying.
Everybody just went to the convention center, passed out on these beanbags, except that guy.
No, that guy's going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dude is definitely asleep on the left there. That girl, look, I guess there aren't any other beanbag chairs, but she was just sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
Just straight up on the ground. What does that tell you about that product? There she is again.
She just missed. Like, she tried to sit in the chair and just
somebody
missed.
else didn't know how to use this beanbag.
Yeah, a lot of failed use cases.
A lot of ineptitude.
I'm gonna give this a 4. No, that's not fair. These suck. Okay, I want to give it points for creativity because these are, I would say,
I like the concept
potentially the most unique chairs I've seen, and it's a cool VIP lounge. You can see in the back, people have to use the normal, like, shitty hotel chairs. There's people in the front, so it's a cool aspect of the VIP sort of thing. But they're way too loungy. Everybody just looks like they're asleep. Some people don't even know how to use them, and they're kind of ugly.
Yeah, they're definitely ugly. And as far
I'll
as
give it, my score is a 3.
Like,
and almost all of that comes from the creativity of these chairs. Really unique, but that's all 3 points. And in every other category that we would normally review chairs, it's like a 0 or 1.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're just... They leave a lot to be wanted, right? Like, if you were actually playing a game in one of these chairs, like, I wouldn't... It would be terrible.
Yeah, that'd be very uncomfortable. Yeah. I mean, or maybe really comfortable.
Well, because I feel like you would be, like, leaning...
Okay, hold on. Let's just let's pause for a moment and just imagine sitting in the chairs, and then we'll review that feeling.
All right.
So give it like 10 seconds. God, just hearing your creaking. How was that?
Maxnomic, again.
How was that for
why
you?
we need those chairs.
All right, so what's your with that new meditation? What is your final score?
Depends on the game I was playing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna do the same as you though. I think I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Capcom, we appreciate the ingenuity, the creativity here.
The event itself was fantastic.
Yeah, great
yeah.
event. But that's not what we're here to
No,
review.
We're talking about the chairs.
And
Right.
your chairs were subpar, but I think you're at a good stepping point where you could keep increasing.
And you know what? They're trying new things.
Yeah,
That's the important
maybe,
part.
and just throwing it out there, what would be better for your event is Maxnomic chairs,
Yes.
but you fill them with beans. So, something to think about. And, yeah, the highest reviewed chairs of the week were the those white chairs.
Yeah, the cradle chairs.
All right, that's it for reviews. Next up is chair news. And this is the segment where we talk about the latest stories in just the chair world. If there are any big developments or exciting drama or stories just about chairs specifically, not about esports. And there weren't. Couldn't find anything.
Still nothing.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to chair trivia. So Jack got the trivia last week. It's time for me to ask a hard-hitting question. I'm going to test your chair knowledge, Jack. And you might actually know this because you deal with chair cases. Like chair injuries.
Is it about Garbett v. Schechter? Is that what
No,
you're gonna
it's
ask
not
me
about that fucking case. Okay, in the year 2000, how many people died nationwide from chair-related falls?
Oh, jeez. I don't know the number.
Okay, but you got to just educate a guess and tell me why you're
Educated guess.
And again, this is in the United States in the year 2000.
United
How many
States.
deaths there were from chair-related falls?
Okay. Couple of questions,
Yes.
if I'm allowed to ask them.
Yeah.
Now,
Of course.
is the toilet going to count as a chair in this situation?
I don't know, and I don't think so.
Okay. Do ski lifts count as chairs in this situation? They are called chair lifts.
They're called ski lifts.
They're also called chair lifts. Also, even if they are, I'm pretty sure that's only adding like 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, not that many people die from ski lifts. I mean, not that many people die from chairs, but I'm
are we
going to say
counting-
no, but that's my assumption.
Are we counting plane accidents in
That-
which
no,
people
no.
are strapped into chairs?
No, that's actually just plane deaths.
Okay.
So that is a separate category.
All right, so we're
I
just
mean, I
doing
feel like there's probably a
falling
lot of
from
people who
chairs.
die from planes, but this is just like falling off chairs, you know. I feel like if you were like in a plane and you fell out of the plane on your chair,
Right.
that's still a plane-related death.
Well, I'm just thinking because like wheelchairs are obviously going to be a bunch. Those walkers, you know, like an old person's walker that has a little seat there. I actually know. No, I know of 2 cases where an old man was sitting in his walker while somebody was pushing him,
Huh.
and he fell for. Well, you know, they fell forward, died.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a lot more morose than I'm sure you.
It's a
Thought it was
it's a
gonna be.
death-related trivia question. It's exactly as morose as I thought it'd be.
Oh, man, I know I'm gonna totally overshoot it. Let's see. There are 300 million people in the United States. Let's go with 126.
The correct answer is 650.
Wow, that is a lot.
That is a lot.
That is a surprising statistic.
As a lot of dumb people, or they're using chairs in extremely dangerous situations.
Well, again, I'm sure a lot of it is like wheelchair use.
Yeah, potentially.
yeah.
I mean, that'd make the most sense. And then you're in like a generally, you know, elderly demographic. who are-
Exactly,
who are
which means like
already-
if you suffer a fall, you're much more likely to die from it.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like, oh, I was using this chair on my balcony, which is we live on the 4th floor of our apartment building,
Yeah.
and then I fell
We'd
out
prob-
of it
yeah, we'd probably die.
onto the street.
Yeah. But honestly, it's probably pretty rare. I still don't think most young people die from chairs that
No,
often.
no, I don't think it's a young person condition. I definitely.
This
think
is not
it's-
an affliction. I'd say this is. But, okay, what I will say is it's interesting. Far more people die from chairs each year than sharks. Sharks kill, like like 4 people a year, right?
Is that worldwide or is that in the U.S.?
I think just U.S. It's something
Yeah,
like
'cause I'm-
3 people a year
I think that there are a lot more shark deaths
in like Australia.
in other countries.
Yeah.
But I know it's still very low. Like,
Yeah.
people grossly over-exaggerate how many shark deaths there are. But then I also know that a lot of them in third world countries go unreported, so it's like...
Yeah, that's true. But
What's your
that's
thoughts on-
the same third world countries probably don't report their chair deaths.
That's true. That's
those people
very
just
true.
die, they fall off chairs and die, and there's no reporting. Do you think there's been a case where somebody has fallen off a chair and been eaten by a shark? And in that case, does that count in the chair deaths or the shark deaths category?
Or is it the extremely exclusive chair shark death?
You mean the shark is a chair?
No, it's like a slashy. Like chair/shark death.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I'll need to look a little bit further to see what exactly my source was coming from. But that's it for this week in chairs. That's all our clips and all our news. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Yeah, reminder that if you enjoyed this, tweet at Maxnomic, talk to him. Otherwise,
Get us those chairs, people. That's all we're
see you
trying to
next
do.
week.
Thanks.
God, what a horrible thing we're doing.